Students, as we have discussed civics and geography in our previous videos, now I'm going to explain history portion. History is the study of past and always the past is connected to our present. Here we will discuss chapter 1, how, when and where. If you look at these three words, how, when and where, we see there are primary words associated with history or any past events. How means reason, when means time, and where means place. So let's start the first topic of this chapter. How important are dates? When we read history, we see a lot of dates, and this is the reason we think that history is a very boring subject because it gets difficult to remember so many dates. So you must understand that history is much more than dates. It's actually a comparison of past and present. What happened versus what it is now. And if you will curious about that comparison, only then after you will start to find history interesting. For example, when you drink tea, you could ask a question. When did people begin to drink tea? How did the plantation started in India? Notice, there were two sets of questions. That is, when and how. The how part is explanation or reason, and the when part is the date we are asking for. So, history is associated with date, which makes a comparison easier. However, we need to understand that there can be no one clear date for any event to occur. Since we do not have any solid historical proof to determine the actual time, therefore, we have to rely on an approximate period over which particular period changes begin visible. During that time, many British and Indian philosophers give their views about the Indian history. For example, we cannot fix one single day on which British rule was established. We know that East India Company came to India first in 1608 and they started ruling India from 1757 onwards. Now the next topic is which dates. Not all the historical dates are important. So the ones that are important is purely due to that event that occur during that time. For example, the date 1608 doesn't make any sense if it did not link it with the arrival date of East India Company. Therefore, it is the event that make it important. How many of such events of our history are not recognized just because we haven't given importance and due to which we missed so many important dates? Take an example. Most of history in India is written by British historians because they were the ruler and they were the highly educated. These historians began their writings with the rule of first Governor General Warren Hastings and ended with the last Viceroy Lord Mountbatten. So all the periods are having the different governor general, and we will read about all of them in next chapters. Now, next topic is how do we paradise, meaning how do we get a perfect place. James Mill, a Scottish economist and philosopher, had written a book named A History of British in India in 1817. In this book, he divided Indian history into three periods: Hindu, Muslim, and British. The reason behind this was before the British came to India, Hindu and Muslim ruled the country, which is true. There was a lot of this communication based on religion, caste, and superstitious activities. With all of these reasons, James Mill thought only British rule could civilize India. He also felt it was very necessary to introduce European manners. He also thought that India was not capable of progress without British help. But this kind of meaning not acceptable today because of the fact that there were no single period of history refers to us, Hindu or Muslim, both the fake existing together in this period. Even we can see so many rulers like Akbar who was very tolerant towards Hindu faith. So there is no point in categorize a period of this type of religious based on the categorize of ruler. That was the British division. Now another division came up where the Indian historians divided into ancient, medieval and modern. The reason behind this division is to present a transition from ancient to modern period, where is how society developed and to move on towards growth like science, democracy, liberty and equality. But again, this kind of divisions has also so many problems. That's why historian refers to British period as colonial period. Now, what is colonial period? Colonial period means establishment of colony in our territory, in one territory by a political power from another territory. So, the moment British took over India and the entire class and history is all about it. British established control over the economy and society, collected revenue to meet all their expenses, brought the goods they wanted at low prices, produced crops they needed for export. British rule brought about in values and tastes, custom and practices. Now, how do we come to know about all of these things? Historians used various sources in writing about the modern history of India or just 250 years of Indian history. So let's talk about the last point. Administration produces record. The official records of the British administration are one of the important sources. Every instruction, plan, policy, decision, agreement, investigation was written as British believed that the act of writing was important. British set up record rooms attached with all administrative institutions as they felt that all important documents and letters needed to be carefully preserved. Now, surveys became important. The British believed that a country had to be properly known before it could be effectively administered. Therefore, practice of surveying became common under the colonial administration. By the early 19th century, detailed surveys were being carried out to map the entire country. Like in the villages, revenue surveys were conducted to know the topography, the soil equality, the flora, the fauna, the local histories, and the cropping pattern. From the end of the 19th century, census operations were held every 10 years, which provide detailed records of the number of people in all the provinces of India, noting information on caste, religion, and occupation. Other surveys such as botanical survey, geological surveys, archaeological surveys, anthropological surveys, forest surveys also done. Next topic, what official records do not tell. Official records do not tell what other people in the country felt and what lay behind their actions. We need to look these things in unofficial records which are more difficult to get than official records. And they are sources of unofficial records, diaries of people, account of pilgrims and travelers, autobiographies of important personalities, popular booklets in the local bazaars, newspaper, written ideas of leaders and reformers, written records of poet and novelist. And limitation of unofficial records are they were production and produced by those who were literate. From these, we can't understand how history was experienced and lived by the tribals and the peasants, the workers in the mines or the poor on the streets. Now, this is all about the chapter. I hope you all have understood. Thank you.